It's tier listing time. It's listing tiers time. I don't know. Whatever it is, but today we're going to be ranking every single PLL from worst to best. So, prepare to be offended again, just like you were in the OLO tier list. I saw some of you. I know who you are. Yeah, S-Move children. Yeah, I know who you are, and I'm watching you. So, look out. All right. What else can we do? Well, let's just jump right in, right? As they say. Basically, something you should know before I rate these is that I do all of my A-perms with technically my left hand, right? So I learned them. So I learned them to do them like this. I guess I didn't learn them at all because I can't even do an A-perm. So yeah. All right, now we're back. So yeah, I learned my A-perms like this. Let's do a U prime instead of a U this time. But yeah, so I learned it with my left hand. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. So for this one, it's pretty much this one that looks like this, right? For you, everybody else that's basically right-handed, which is the majority of you guys. I am right-handed, but I do them with my left hand for some reason. I don't know why. Thanks, J-Perm, I guess. So you're supposed to do it like this. Which, I guess that would be the main A-perm then. But for me, this is the kind of secondary A-perm, I would guess. It's pretty fast. Like, it's not... I think both A-perms should go in A tier. That's just what I think. Because the other one, for me, looks like this. And it might be a little bit faster, but it's not fast enough to be an S tier, I don't think. So we're going to start off with a solid A for the A-perms. Okay, which one's next? E-perm. E-perm is... Alright, so it's not the algorithm that's bad about E-perm. Like, E-perms, you can do them relatively quickly, right? And the only problem with E-perm is that the recognition is just so terrible that I can't even, like, see what's going on. Half the time I just do, like, U8 because I don't even know what the E-perm looks like. And half the time I also get it mixed up with the F-perm, which is going to be next, I assume. Wait, is this in alphabetical order? It makes so much more sense, okay. But the F-perm looks a lot like the E-perm. If you just have it from this angle, you might be like, oh wait, it's an E-perm. You do one more and you're like, oh nice, it's an F-perm. That's always a relief. E-perm just doesn't do it for me. It's not bad enough for F tier, but it's not good enough for C tier, so D it is. Okay, which one do we have next? F-perm, just like I said, F-perm. I'm a genius, right? It has a pretty good alg. I think it's just like mixes up the moves of the T-perm, so it's a pretty solid alg. Like you can do it pretty fast. But the thing is, the recognition isn't that great if you get it from a certain angle. So like I said earlier, if you get the F-perm from this angle, your song is kind of done for. But if you get it from this angle, automatically then it's really easy to recognize because there's this huge block, right? So F-perm's alg is good. The recognition is just kind of mid. I would put this would be a quintessential C tier, is what I would say. Oh no, okay. I don't want to rank these right now. Alright, I guess I have to rank the G-perms now. See, the thing with the G-perms is everybody says that they're terrible. There are some of them that actually aren't that bad. But let's just talk about this one first, because I just set that one up. This one is it GB? I think it's GB. Might be wrong, tell me in the comments. But this one, I mean, most people just do this alg, which it isn't terrible, but the T moves at the beginning are kind of... In general, this alg, this PLL is just... It's not good, and... So the thing is, if I want to put it on the same level as E-perm, right? E-perm has a way better alg than this one, and it's a lot faster, I'd say. But the recognition for E-perm is just so terrible. This one, the recognition is kind of middle of the pack, and the algorithm is kind of below middle of the pack. So I would probably put it in D tier. What's another G-perm? Just get them all out of the way right now, right? This one, I still don't know the letters of them because I just don't. But this one with the block on the left, recognition, you kind of get it confused with the A-perm sometimes, but if you're good enough, you probably won't. I mean, I do it with the left hand, so I don't really like it that much. I should probably learn a different one with the right hand, but there just aren't that many really good algs for this one, unless you want to do like some weird wide moves or something. So what I do is I just go like this, which isn't that bad. It's like, again, it's just mid, and I'd probably also put it in D tier, if I'm being honest. Like, right, this one. So this one, the block's on the right, and it's actually really nice if you're right-handed. because the same thing as the one I did with my left hand, except with the right. So you're basically just going to do this. And that actually makes it not that bad of an algorithm. Like you can spam this one, it's pretty good. Like I wouldn't be that disappointed if I got this one to solve. Recognition is same as the last one, a little bit below average, but the algorithm is pretty good for a G perm. I'd also probably put this one in C tier with F perm. How do I set this one up? Yes, I did first try. Let's go. This one I actually like quite a bit. If you do the D, or rather D prime, before you do the alg, it actually flows really nicely. Honestly, this isn't too much of a problem for me. It is a G perm, but I think it's the best G perm actually. I would even go as far to say that it's a B tier, honestly. Like it's really not that bad. Recognition is pretty simple, and algorithm is actually decent, so I'd put it in B tier, surprisingly. All right, next one we have an interesting one. This one's H perm. So H perm is the shortest PLL, right? It's only 7 moves, but the thing is, all of those moves are, well, at least like 5 out of 7 of them are M2s or U2s. So it's kind of deceiving with the move count there. If you're just starting out cubing, H perm is definitely S tier because it's probably your best PLL because it's very short. But whenever you get faster, you realize that a lot of these PLLs aren't so bad, and you can actually do a lot of them very, very fast. So H perm recognition is extremely easy. The algorithm is really good, but I don't know if it's S tier. Like there are a lot of these that are actually like better. Well, not a lot. S tier is very selective, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna put it in A tier just because, I mean, you can do it really fast. I do find myself locking up on it a little bit more than I like. Sometimes I mess it up, and that's just because I'm not very good at the whole cube thing. But that being said, it's A tier. Oh, JA perm. Okay, so JA perm. This is an interesting one. So I use an alg I got from Lucas Eder. This one's actually really good. Yeah. So if you practice it a lot, you can do JA perm pretty fast. So it's actually become one of my favorite algs. The only problem sometimes is the recognition. Like you can see that there are huge blocks everywhere, and you immediately know that it's a J perm, right? But you don't know which one it is. So that's the only problem I find sometimes. I do too many U moves or something. I don't know what it is. That'll just come with experience, of course. Once I become like consistently sub 10, I don't think that'll be a problem anymore. So yeah, recognition is pretty good. The alg is really good. I'd say this is another A tier right here. This is really good. All right, now we're on to one of my favorites, the JB perm. Everybody loves this algorithm. There's really no debate. This is definitely one of the algorithms of all time. I'm just gonna put it in S tier automatically. Let's just look. This one is basically just like RUF. It's insanely fast. You can literally do it at like 30 TPS. Shu Ruihong could do this at like 5,000 TPS. And it's done. Like I just did a J perm. Like I just did it. You just didn't see. I did like 3 J perms. If I got a solve and it was gonna be like at 12, and I was like, oh no, this is a bad solve, and then I got a J perm at the end, it would probably take it down at least below 10, because that's just how good this algorithm is. Next, oh no, the N perms have arrived. The first one, this one, a lot of people will like to say, oh, it's N perm, it's bad. This one actually isn't terrible. It's just a 4-move setup into J perm, the last alg that we just talked about, and it's not that bad. All right, it's not that bad. The recognition isn't that bad. The setup into J perm is not that bad either. It's a couple more moves than J perm, but that being said, I'm actually gonna put this one in B tier. I don't think it's really that bad if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, it's a different story. And I feel really bad for you. But now I'm gonna feel bad for myself because I have to rank the next one, which is NB perm. Now this one is actually like terrible. Like this is saddening. Yeah, this is just not good. I mean, you have 2 options. You could do it with your left hand. You could basically mirror the last alg that I just did, or you can do the wide move alg, the Jaden McNeil one, which is like this. And I mean, it's just not that fast. Like, you're bound to lock up on it, and that's just how it works. I mean, there's really no getting around that. if you're not good at the whole cube thing. But if you are, then maybe you can get around that. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. But this one's auto F. Like it's just that bad. Okay, we've arrived at another good one. I like these. All right, this one, T-perm. When you're first starting out again, this is definitely one of the best ones, and it still is one of the best ones. Even if you're mid to advanced, it's still one of the best ones. Yeah, it's just really fast. It's basically just the moves of J-perm, like rearrange kind of. T-perm gets S tier. T-perm is amazing. I think we can all agree on that. Recognition is great. Once you see the headlights are opposite, and then you see this big block, you're like, oh yeah. T-perm. T-perm's amazing. All right. Now we have, yes, definitely the PLL of all time. I'm not kidding. This one is amazing. Like this one is just it. You have a couple of options of how you can do this one. I do the M move ones, which are really, really fast. This is my fastest PLL, I think. You can also do this one, which is that one U-perm. We all know that one guy that like only does this U-perm. I'm not gonna name names. Like that. I mean, it's pretty cool. You can show your friends, and they'll be like, oh, it's a Rubik's Sorcerer. We're gonna make our own tier for this one. It's gonna be a U-perm tier. I think both U-perms deserve to be in that tier. Honestly. I think both U-perms deserve to be in U-perm tier. U-perms deserve to be in U-perm tier, which is above all the other tiers, because when you get them in a solve, you're like, oh, it's U-perm, because you see this, and you see this, and you're like, oh, you see enough U-perms in your life, you know that it's a U-perm. And U-perms are amazing. So yeah, practice your U-perms, kids, or just don't, and still be good at them, because they're still U-perms. Now, the thing, I've always had a grudge against V-perm. V-perms, it's bad, but you can learn algs to where it's not that bad. There's the RUD alg. There's the one with the rotation, which you shouldn't learn. That one is garbage. Don't do that, please. It hurts my eyes whenever I see somebody do that. And then you're like, I don't even know how to do it, because I never learned it, because I just don't want to. But the one I use goes like this. And you could take out the regrip at the beginning, and it also flows nicely. So it's a pretty good alg. I'd honestly put V-perm in C tier. Like, I'm not even that mad at V-perm anymore. Y-perm. Alright. Y-perm is pretty good. And here's a PSA to everybody. I just learned this recently. At the end of your Y-perm, please learn how to do this finger trick. Please learn this, because this will save you a little bit of time, but it goes a lot farther than you think in the long run. So I used to do it like this, and then like regrip, and then do this finger trick, which you might think, oh, it's pretty fast. But it's just like on this algorithm, where you do this, and then if you do this at the end, that split second where you could have been doing this, and it would have been a lot faster. Then you go straight into PLL. There are no regrips in this alg, which makes it pretty good. So yeah, Y-perm. Honestly, Y-perm is it's B tier. I'd say it's B tier. And last but not least, we have Z-perm. Okay, so Z-perm, I've had my problems with Z-perm, you know? You've seen it before. Z-perm I really don't like it. The thing about Z-perm that I hate the most, though, out of everything. The algorithm, of course, you can like miss a move, and then you're like, oh no, I'm doing Ru now, like what am I doing? Oh my goodness. But the worst thing about Z-perm that I absolutely hate is when you see a CLL, you know, right? And you do the CLL. And you're like, oh yes, I'm gonna get a really good PLL. And then it's Z-perm. That is the most depressing thing ever. I do not wish that upon my worst enemy. That is just terrible. If you get a Z-perm after doing CLL, you're like, why did I even do CLL? Now I just have a worse algorithm. Like, you could have been getting like a T-perm or a J-perm, but you're like, no, it's a Z. For the fact that I do CLL and I get a Z-perm, I'm very mad. This one, I just hold a grudge against it, so I'm gonna put it in D tier, because it's just like, this just makes me mad every single time I see it. Like, unless I'm like doing this algorithm and then I like get it, then I'm maybe like, just B tier. But it's D tier whenever I do CLL, and then I get really mad. Feel free to roast me in the comments for not liking some of these great PLLs. Apparently they're great. I don't know, I haven't really heard much. And yeah, Hope you enjoyed. Feel free to subscribe as well, because we're on our way to 1K. And if you want to be a part of the channel and you want to help me out a little bit, then you can subscribe. I'm not going to force you to, though, because I'm not that type of guy, but have a good rest of your day, man.